The manager told investigators 2 people approached him outside of his Benton Harbor home. He says they held him at gunpoint, blindfolded, and even handcuffed him and then put him in the back of his own car. Police are also walking us through the entire incident and giving us a timeline of all the efforts made by officers before shots were fired. In fact, you can still feel the energy in this arena right now. Donald Trump came in here tonight, fists in the air, saying he's ready to fight again. Now Allen's attempting to get those attorneys reinstated, remove that judge from the case, and get a trial date set within 70 days of this decision. But they are releasing disturbing details as to what happened this weekend and how there are now multiple investigations on the 3 people who are dead. And her speech especially anticipated after a week of headlining Democrats touting her experience and her drive for the future of the nation. Emotions were especially high for Mayor-elect Lichty, not only for her win, but becoming a part of history. And we're listening in on the final words before Donald Trump begins his address to the nation. They thought it looked suspicious and called 911. Elkhart police were on scene around noon. Neighbors say it was difficult to watch the day unfold. The Kosciuszko County coroner knows there have been 20 overdose deaths so far this year, but he wants others to be aware of it too, adding a sign outside of his office for those driving by to see. It was just before 1:30 Friday morning when Elkhart police arrived on this lot. They were able to find tracks and a damaged fence on the property. They were also able to find 25 cut catalytic converters and the 2 men accused of stealing them. It happened in this parking lot with almost no other cars around. A woman says what she planned as a quick trip to the mall with her daughter became scary fast.
Because there was cars down the road, all the way down the street. There was cars. It was pretty. It was a nice amount of people out here.
Neighbors say they've never seen anything like it. Large crowds of young people block after block in the area of Washington and Walnut. What neighbors say looked like hundreds of young people partying quickly turned scary. More than 130 shots fired from 13 different guns, according to police, hitting 3 people at that party. 36 police cars sent to the scene from 4 different departments. That's when the struggle began for first responders to get to those victims. Police say the large crowds were making it difficult for even ambulances to get through.
They were hindering our response to get to the 3 people that were shot, and people were going to have to explain why they did what they did. No excuse and no reasons good enough to hinder the police from trying to bring aid to victims.
1 juvenile was arrested as a result of that struggle, but has since been released to his parents. This incident breaks a 24-day streak without criminal shootings in the city, as 2023 has seen fewer shootings than this time last year. Police Chief Scott Ruskowski wants answers as to what happened.
Somebody knows. Every time that trigger is pulled, somebody knows other than whoever's pulling that trigger. In this case, we have 13 different people pulling the trigger. Neither of us should be here to have to plead to the community to stop something so easy to stop.
South Bend Mayor James Mueller calls it disappointing. He says the city has systems in place to keep people safe, but now it's up to the community.
If you know who is responsible for violence in our community, come forward with information. So we need the information to be able to get these violent offenders off the streets.
Myra Garcia lives in South Bend off of a busy street and in an area where she says she knows all of her neighbors. Until now, she believed it was a safe neighborhood. That's until she and her kids left home to get groceries Wednesday afternoon with a new TV out for delivery.
When they say it's out for delivery and I'm running to Walmart, what are the chances that it's going to get delivered while the 1 hour that I was gone? So it got delivered.
She was notified the TV was on her front porch. Neighbors say just minutes later, a man stopped in front of her house, grabbed the TV, and drove off. But what the alleged porch pirate doesn't know?
She caught it all on one of these.
Ring footage on her front door shows a FedEx driver carrying the TV with the help of a stranger.
So it was at 11:15 when the guy dropped it off. We didn't, it was being delivered. I'll be on my way. I was down at Walmart. How long does it take to get here? I was at checkout right. And then 11:35. So 20 minutes, there's a guy driving by and taking my TV.
What's even more bizarre, it appears to be that same Good Samaritan coming back to take it.
It just sucks. He paid for this TV, and it was on sale, you know, Black Friday sales, but still, it's just like, bro, we work, we have kids, you know.
She says the stranger appears to come out of nowhere in the video and that he made it appear he was there to help. Now she's warning her neighbors so this tactic doesn't work again. Police are also walking us through the entire incident and giving us a timeline of all the efforts made by officers before shots were fired. This is what the scene looked like as officers approached Nicewinder. This is footage from a body camera worn by one of the officers around 6:52 that morning. You can see Nicewinder place his hands in his pockets at one point as officers ask him to hold his hands up. He also tells police to shoot him multiple times. The video goes on to show the multiple attempts made by officers to tase Nicewinder. Police noting today those cycles were unsuccessful, likely because of the layers of clothes he was wearing. Nicewinder can be seen threatening police and approaching them again. Officers repeatedly ask him to get on the ground before 6 shots are fired, 3 striking Nicewinder. At that moment, one officer was 17 feet from Nicewinder, the other 15. This all happening within about 3 minutes of officers approaching him.
On one hand, other people not knowing may seem like it's a long time. For the officers, it could have seemed forever. We're breaking down into quarter and half seconds, and it's just, again, each human being dealing with whatever situation it may be is totally different.
Police also offered some context today on the efforts of those tasers and the training that these officers go through. I'll have more on that tonight at 6. We're now live in South Bend. Anne Lurea, WSBT 22 News.